Welcome back. Take a sip first.
White diamonds, 2 a.m. she wildin'. Bitches sick, got they stomach in her comments. What school you went to?
All right, man. Let's get into it. First things first, man. Happy New Year. If you're watching this, you made it to 2025. Congratulations. So today, I just want to vent. I want to dump some thoughts off from 2024 so we move on and start anew, right? 2024, I didn't do much of nothing, bro. But I got a list of things that I want to discuss from 2024, man, so I could dump these thoughts off and keep it moving. Let me find my notepad. First thing that came up on my list was Ladies Love Lyrics. Ladies Love Lyrics. I was supposed to film Ladies Love Lyrics during this holiday break. And once the holiday break got here, honestly, I just wanted a break myself. I really didn't feel like doing any work. I didn't feel like the process of the production of Ladies Love Lyrics, and quite honestly, I'm dragging my feet a little bit on it because it might be my last one. It might be my last season, like my last run of the show. And primarily because I feel like when I first started the show 8 years ago, with Ladies Love Lyrics, and I've worked with at least, I want to say 20 to 30 women on Ladies Love Lyrics. And they've all came through and had a good time. But when it comes to producing the show and finding things to be excited about on the show, outside of what the show is, it's like, man, it becomes tough. Like when I don't want the show to feel like, because I'm starting to feel like, I remember when I was younger and you listen to WJOB, Hot 107.5 or Hot 102.7, whatever it used to be. Well, Hot 105.9, that's switching around. But anyway, I don't want it to feel like when I was a kid and my parents used to switch the radio to 92.3. For those outside of the Detroit area, 92.3, when millennials were children, our parents that's like where the oldies were playing at. That was like the old school station. And that's what I felt like Ladies Love Lyrics is slowly developing into. And I don't look, man, like the new music that's out these days just don't move me to really want to build episodes around what's new. Keep going back to all the songs from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s over and over and over again. And for some, people would be like, yeah, so what? For me, and the research that I got to do every single time to pull this together and make it feel unique and fun and all of that, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. So this might be my last one. I put my casting out there maybe a month or so ago, maybe a little over a month ago. And when I did the Google form or whatever, I said we was going to film during the holiday break. So I remember when I closed the Google form, it was like maybe 8 new faces that I don't want to say applied, but filled out the form. So I'm gonna take all 8 of them, and then I'm gonna mix in some of the older faces of Ladies Love Lyrics, the OGs, some of the OGs of Ladies Love Lyrics, and mix that up, and that'll be my last run, man. I'm gonna make that the best that it can be, the best it can look, man. DWSD. Wow. Okay. So this past year at work flew by, bro. My job takes. See, the thing is, outside of work, my job don't necessarily take a lot of my time, like outside of business hours. It don't take a lot of my time. The thing that gets me is that when I'm off work, I kind of want to turn my brain off because I've had it going all day long. I just want to turn my brain off when I get off work. So that is draining me the most part. As far as my job, man, I'm excelling there, bro. I'm doing my job. Sometimes I have waves where I'm like, yo, this is boring, man. Trying to be creative when it comes to talking about water is so boring. I just can't. And then there's times where it's like, yo, this is exciting. I get a chance to do this. So this next upcoming campaign is that we're attacking the bottled water companies directly. We're the only department that sells a product. So once I brought this to attention to the executives, I'm like, man, we about to start producing commercials like we are selling a product, and that's the direction that we're moving in. So that hasn't even been shot yet as of today. But in the next coming weeks it should be. I'm not nervous about it, but the thing about my job that I personally I don't necessarily struggle with, but it's the game that the part of the game that I gotta play where you just have to you come up with these ideas and you gotta find a way to appease yourself creatively. Then you gotta find a way that, okay, what would the residents that I'm creating this for would think about when they see it? So I have to, again, make sure it's sweet to me. Then I have to make sure the residents would think that it's something that's eye catching or something that they could really get into. And then also, I got to have something that the executives would be giving a thumbs up to as well. So I have to balance all of these things at the same time. That's the major thing that really be having me dizzy at work. But other than that, my job is not hard at all. It's just that, that's the only thing when it comes to the campaign times is that that's the hard part, bro. That's the hard part, trying to balance all of it to where everything, primarily myself, that I'm going to be happy with it, but with everybody that that I got to answer to, I look at it sometimes like, man, if I related it to music, it always goes back to either sports or music for me, because those are like my one and two loves in the beginning, basketball and music. I've had to relate to things. It's almost like I'm signed to a label, and I'm signed to a music label, and I don't have a lot of free time to do like features, if that makes sense. Like I don't have a lot of time to do features because the label got me working on this album, or I'm a writer for other people's album, which I help produce other people's projects. But I'm not able to do the features the fun stuff, that's what it feels like sometimes. But yeah, I'm right where I need to be right now. My foot is in the door. And honestly, seeing things behind, like when you're on the other side of the curtain, this is just another thing. Like, I'm never going to look at politics the same or if I'm ever leaving DWSD, I'm just never going to look at politics the same after like being behind the curtain and knowing some of the things I know and seeing some of the things that I've seen. But I am having a good time there. I've met some great people there. Next up on my list, it's been time and time again. I know for a fact I've talked about this in videos that I've dropped. It's like sitting like this, or in Sincerely Yours episodes where I say, yo, I don't feel like an adult. What is an adult supposed to feel like? I don't know what my age is supposed to feel like. I don't know. But this year is when it clicked that I feel like an adult now. I feel like an adult. I don't know. Well, I do know. It feels like the weight of the world is heavier at my age right now. The weight of the world. With everything. Trying to manage everything. Trying to keep myself feeling good so I can create. But the weight of the world outside of my bubble feels a lot heavier that I need to pay attention to at my big age. I'm 38. I have an 11-year-old child. I got a career. I'm a professional videographer that I worked really hard at. So I got a lot to lose, really. So that means the weight of the world and the decisions that I have to make is a lot more serious. As I get older, bro, I don't have time to play. So I have to put myself out there even more. I'm digressing right now, but I need to put myself out there even more. And with the election and just so much going on in the world at the same time, it's just like so much to keep up with. So many hurdles that I've tried to jump over, and I'm still find myself trying to jump over, finding my way through adulthood. But now I feel like as I say, now that I feel like an adult, I feel like I'm in the swing of things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, okay, now I'm starting to get this adulthood thing figured out. Now I'm feeling comfortable with being here. I'm at the point where I can do whatever I want creatively. I'm at the point where I am at the peak of my powers creatively. I'm at the peak right now of not where I could be, sure, but where I've been. Like, I'm at a new high score right now creatively, it feels like. With the weight of the world still feeling heavy, man. So, with that said, man, sometimes I'm going to say this year that I'm going to be a little selfish. I'm going to be a little more selfish with my time, excuse me. Because I just got to have tunnel vision right now. I know I'm still fairly young in far as life terms. But I've been in this game over 10 years. And it's time for me to really start pushing my chips to the middle of the table. It's time for me to start putting up or shutting up. I feel like I've been in the lab way too long. It's time for me to start working on these moves in front of the crowd. This thing I got coming up next month. This shoot I got coming up next month, bro. I feel like I'm preparing for a performance. That's what it feels like. I feel like I am preparing for a performance. I saw I was working on a project with somebody where we was at I'm saying somebody because I don't want to tell y'all who it is just yet. Because this is their project and they haven't announced it yet. And we was at a Charity's rehearsal before her show at L Club. And I was just watching how she prepared, and that's really the rehearsals, like being in the lab and watching her prepare for her show and doing these things over and over until she felt it was right. And that's how I feel right now, where I can't lose sleep. It's currently, Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 2:58 a.m.
It's currently 2:58 a.m. as I'm recording this, bro. I cannot sleep because I cannot wait for my show, for my performance. And that's the domino effect. February, I already know what I'm doing after this shoot in January. I know what I'm doing next in February. I'm doing a clothing pop-up to celebrate 5 years with the shop. So that's going to be something special. So anyway, I digress, man. I digress. Back to this list. What is 2025 going to look like? Just more. I don't want to promise anything. Just more. Just more. Just more. I hope to shoot more, Gen episodes than we did this year. Hope to have more live shows than we've done before. I hope to have more game shows. I hope to have more subscribers on YouTube. I hope to make more money. Shit. I hope to have more build my network, grow more. Just more. I want more. I want more, bro. I want more. What's on my list? I said I got more game shows, more XGNs, more pop-ups for the shop. I wanna meet the people who's buying my clothes. A lot of people buy my stuff, but they don't post it. If they do, they don't tag me. A lot of times I see people wearing my stuff. I'm just scrolling through the gram, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and I see it and I comment or I like it or whatever and be like, oh, dang, that's sweet. Nobody ever really tags me after buying my stuff. So I want to meet a lot of the people that's buying my things in person. I'm not even gonna say what I want to have at the pop-up. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna do it. I want to begin on my short film, bro. On my short film or my scripted series at Neighborhood Grocery. I got this back to DWSD. I got some nope, I ain't gonna do that either. I got something coming that's gonna allow me to really do my short film or scripted series thing, bro. More on that later. Wow. And I want and need to be more accessible. I need to be more accessible, bro. If I want to be a ambassador of this city, if I want to be just in the mix, I want to be recognized. I want to be who don't want as an artist want to be mentioned sometime. I feel like I'm maybe not, there's a lot of people that do all the things that I do separately. But when I tell you, when I got all pots on my stove cooking at the same time, I don't think there's nobody like me. When I got all four, well, not even four, excuse me. When I got however many going on high at the same time, ain't nobody like me, man. At all. At all. I say that as humbly as possible. Ain't nobody like me. Back to that. I need, like, I was thinking, like, when I was making this list, I'm like, bro, I need to be outside and accessible more like I was when I was Respect the Shooter. I was just around. Just around. Solo, by the way. Respect the Shooter is when I was doing music videos and freelance videography for events and weddings and back in those days, bro. My early years, I need to be out like that more just to be visible. That's what I need to be. I wrote this too, so walk with me on this, okay? So it's the end of a chapter, man. Outside of Jen, let me make this clear. Outside of the Ask Jen show, she's still on the network. Let me make that clear. But I'm done with talk shows. I had Big Play Clay Show. I've had Real Talk with Adore and Daisy, Wine Wednesdays, The Casuals. I'm drawing a blank, but there's a few other shows that I've tried to do, whether they talk shows or long form podcasts or whatever. And I wish I could talk about those days in detail because I learned so much over those years. Learned so much over those years, and I got to find a way to talk about it without people feeling like I'm being exploitive or I'm clout chasing or things like that. But I got a lot of game to give over those periods. So my biggest takeaway though, is that if you're trying to produce a bunch of podcasts or try to build a network of shows like that, is you got to find people who want it for themselves first. You become creative partners with these people, and that's what it is. You become creative partners with these people. And I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again, like as far as working on shows like that, because there's people that still inquire about me working or bringing them onto the network to do that all the time. I still get inquiries all the time, people wanting to join the network. I don't have the capacity, and for one, those type of shows, I just don't have the passion to start from scratch for it. I don't have that. I don't have it. Who knows? Maybe 6 months from now, I might wake up and change my mind again. But that is what it is. I'm not saying never, but I am saying no time soon. Project Rise Up. Project Rise Up was a way for me I felt like initially it's going through a couple phases. I wanted it to be more of a community service cleanup type of deal. Clean up these communities, like literally go and be hands-on and clean up communities. I used to do that when I was a city year, when I was 17, 18, 19 years old. So I wanted to get back into doing that, but I'm like, I feel like I can be a lot more productive, but and then it's become going through other phases of things that I'm like, okay, I want to do that with Project Rise Up, but now, and I want to scratch the name Project Rise Up altogether. I want to call what my for community organization is Create Responsibly. I want to encourage more children to read. I want what Create Responsibly. Then long story short, I just want it to be I want it to create a balance to what we see in mainstream. I want it to create a balance. It needs to be a balance, man. I want it to feel like I remember when I was a kid, man, in the Book It program that encouraged kids to read. I don't even know if that's still around anymore. I remember seeing these posters that just said like read, and it had a celebrity holding a book of their favorite book or what book they were currently reading. And I remember seeing those posters and I'm like, wow, okay. Just the word read, I think it was like for the American Library Association or American Literature Association, one of the two. And I would see just the picture, it just the word read across it. And I just don't, as a father of an 11-year-old now, I could be totally off base here, but I just don't see enough of that. And quite honestly, I don't know what type of programming. Yeah, another tangent for a second. Now that I'm on it, somebody like my son's age, I remember being his age and I could turn on TV and I see many things for my demographic at his age, right? And now I just don't know what it seems like the things that it's like either things that won't interest him because it's for younger children, and then he's like at an age where some of the things that he might kind of be into might be a little too out of the age appropriate for him. And it's not a lot of in between that don't feel like, wow, dad, this is corny, or oh, dad, this is boring. Um, I want to provide a balance, and hopefully this will kind of encourage what we see in the mainstream. Not to say that I got the power to do that. Lord knows, who knows? Maybe I do. Maybe I do have the power to do that. I know this sounds boring to some people, but this has become a real passion of mine, and I just haven't found a way to start it. And I feel like now just talking about it is a start for me, because I haven't talked about this with nobody. So create responsibly is what Project Rise Up has now transformed into. So more on that later. And 2025, man, I'm hitting the road running. I'm hitting the road running, bro. I'm not ashamed of anything, any art that I'm going to put out there, any creative ideas that I feel strongly about. I am going to put them out. Yeah, time to start playing. Stop playing. Another thing. When I talk about being a leader in this space, I do not mean leader in a sense of like a gatekeeper or a decision maker. No, I don't mean that in that sense that I feel like I'm a leader in this space, in this creative space here. I don't know. It's more like I'm a leader because I ain't stopped, bro. I'm here to be transparent. You have no idea how hard it is to really get on camera and just be transparent about where you are in your career, whether it's good or the bad. It's hard to do this, bro. It's hard to do this. It's hard to put your creativity and your art into the world, because there's so many people out there that can't do a lick of anything, that's waiting to sit back and judge you. And you got to have that thick skin, whether, people like it or not. You like it. I like it. So I don't care if anybody don't like what I do, bro. I'm at that creative space where I do not care. Either you with me or you not with me. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, And on my sets, when I'm doing my thing for the Uprising Network as the director, and this is one thing I see people get confused too when I watch a lot of like YouTube about filmmakers and just the film community, that people get it real confused that the director is the one that's just like, I'm in charge. Everything I say goes. You got to listen to me. Nah, man. I think that's very invalid. That's a part of it. Very small part of it. I think the director's purpose is to create a space for the art to happen. To create space for the magic to happen. The director is the one that brings all these things together. That could be a producer too, sure. But a director is not the one that's just like the decision maker. Like, yeah, I'm the dictator. No, because especially on any of my sets, anybody that's on set, if they got a valid opinion, if they got a valid, great opinion about something, no matter who it is, we gonna implement it. I don't roll like that, bro. Now I feel like I'm talking way too much. I feel like now my timer is at, I'm at 37 minutes. I'm definitely going to break this whole video down and post it piece by piece on socials. Yeah, man, that's it. I'm happy I got this out. I'm happy to finally shed everything that was really weighing on me at the end of 2025 that I haven't addressed before. Let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun with these game shows. And I didn't even touch on that. This the last thing for real. I'm ready to expand. I am ready to expand the network. I am, so I say I'm done with the talk shows, but I'm ready to expand the network in a sense of I want to bring other people that's working and building in other cities here and create and produce with them here, or go to them. I'm ready to expand in that way. So I got to eat. I got somebody coming in from Milwaukee, right? My game show after that, yes, I got another game show I'm ready to go with after that. Caleb is probably not going to host it because I want a little more variety, but I'm looking for a host for that one. So we on a roll right now, bro. We on a roll right now. I'm ready to expand. I'm bringing people from around the country to Detroit. So that's it, man. Sincerely yours. Welcome to 2025. We made it. Thanks for watching.
White diamonds, 2 a.m. she wildin'. Bitches sick, got they stomach in her comments. What's good?